How do I prevent a deadly shooting? With this gun in my hand. Indomitable hero by virtue of the fact that he carries a gun. Falk Zildjian finds a place at the front of the crowd milling outside of the Roxy Theater. Everyone pushes against the velvet ropes, forming an aisle toward the front door of the theater. Instead of a red carpet, there's a yellow carpet with lines painted to look like bricks. A young woman in a blue and white checked gingham pinafore and cream-colored blouse passes down the aisle, a scruffy toy dog peeking out of the top of her basket. She could almost pass for Judy Garland until she opens her mouth. There's no mistaking her Parabellum City accent.
Oh.
Then there was a scarecrow dancing around, a tin woodsman covered in silver cardboard, and a golden retriever wearing a lion's mane around its head. But the real draw for this local premiere of The Wizard of Oz was an appearance by the famous songwriter, Yip Harburg. We don't get many stars this big passing through Parabellum City. Can you believe the lyrics for this kids' movie were written by the same guy who wrote Brother, Can You Spare a Dime? And It's Only a Paper Moon? I'm partial to his song that Cab Calloway and Owl Jolson performed together. I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. Anyway, one of his songs in this new musical is supposed to be pretty good too. Harburg is a down-to-earth guy, so when he finally pulled up, it wasn't a limousine or a cab that brought him. He was standing in the bed of a pickup truck, waving to the crowd. He hopped to the ground and then... Get down!
What is it?
Yip Harburg must die.
I've had bad reviews before, but this is ridiculous.
The shots came from the second floor of that building across the street. I see a rifle sticking out the window.
What did I ever do to you?
You and the whole motion picture industry destroyed my childhood memories.
Oh boy, one of these guys. Look, why don't you come down to street level and we can stop shouting?
How do I know you won't shoot me?
You can take cover behind that Studebaker parked in front of your building. We'll stay here behind the truck.
I don't know.
There's no pressure. If you feel more comfortable resuming our firefight at some point, you can do it.
Fine, I'll come down, but only because I'm sick of shouting, and all these witnesses can hear why I'm doing this.
At least he doesn't have a manifesto that he'll want printed in the newspapers.
I'm coming out. Which one's the Studebaker?
The black one.
They're all black.
Any car will work, whichever one you like.
Fine.
All right, tell us your grievances and we'll see if we can work it out or reach some compromise.
Okay, I was going to have this printed in the Daily Sentinel, but I guess I can announce my grievances here and they'll print it in the paper later. First off...
Hey, before you get started, is that armor you're wearing supposed to stop a 9mm round?
No, it's my costume. It goes along with my hero name.
Who are you supposed to be? Medieval man? Plate mail head?
They call me fan mail.
I don't get it.
It's kind of like scale mail, the type of armor where there's overlapping pieces that look like scales. These little pieces on my armor are fan-shaped, so it's fan mail.
How are we supposed to tell the difference between fan-shaped pieces and scale-shaped pieces?
It's just part of the name, man.
So I guess fan mail is why you've got postage stamps stuck all over the armor.
Yes, exactly.
Why are you caressing the area over your nipple?
That's the stamp I'm proudest of. The upside-down Jenny. It's a collector's item, you know.
Are you mailing yourself somewhere?
No, it's just, I'm a big fan. I mail, I write fan mail, and sometimes I engage in direct action. Like right now, assassinating people who are tarnishing my childhood memories. Now you're going to let me talk?
When did I stop you?
My generation has lived through the war to end all wars, the Spanish flu, and the Great Depression. If that wasn't enough pain in our lives, now the motion picture industry is destroying our childhood memories. And it's led by people like that guy you're trying to protect, E.Y. Harburg. They produce nothing but remakes and sequels these days. Never anything original. Take this remake of Wizard of Oz that Harburg was part of. How could anyone imagine they'd top the original silent movie, The Wizard of Oz?
You can't blame Mr. Harburg for this remake. He only wrote the lyrics to the songs.
It's a musical. The whole thing is songs.
I wrote some of the dialogue as well, and made a major revision of the script.
We're trying to convince this guy not to kill you, Mr. Harburg.
He's only in town to promote the movie.
Actually, I came to Parabellum City to see a man about a gun.
I thought you were some kind of pacifist.
I am. My next review is an anti-war piece. If you say anything against war or guns and get the slightest detail wrong about whether it's a bolt action or lever action or pivoting block action, the gun lovers act like everything else you said was wrong. So I wanted to talk to this local man, Boothroyd. He's supposed to be knowledgeable about firearms.
See, there you go. Anti-war. They're always pushing politics into movies these days. What happened to the good old days when movies were just about action or adventure or romance, with no politics to think about? Like All Quiet on the Western Front, or Battleship Potemkin, or The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Today movie makers celebrate gangsters because they want to make police look bad. What happened to wholesome movies you could just turn your brain off and enjoy? Like The Keystone Cops.
Those movies are all political.
Ah, you're nuts. Besides that, Hollywood can't leave well enough alone. All the time it's sequels. They release a masterpiece like King Kong in 1933. Right away they have to put out a sequel, the same year it was released, Son of Kong. Even when you get a great film like the 1924 silent Captain Blood, they remake it 11 years later because they want a version with sound. Just a matter of time before they make film adaptations of the other books in that series, probably in color. Captain Blood Returns, The Fortunes of Captain Blood. I wouldn't be surprised if they make one called Son of Captain Blood. Or take a classic like Frankenstein.
What's your complaint about that? People still talk about that 8 years later.
That was garbage. I'm talking about the classic, Thomas Edison's Frankenstein from 1910. Or take this corny Dracula from a few years back starring that Hungarian fella. Everybody knows it's a ripoff of Nosferatu.
Mr. Fanmail, I hardly think...
Or some of these Broadway shows want to dredge up a lot of stuff about the Negro question. Like Orson Welles with his DEI theater group.
DEI?
Yeah, it stands for Distinctly English Institute, something like that. He staged that version of Macbeth with an all-black cast a few years ago.
How is that ruining your childhood memories? You saw Macbeth when you were 5?
Yes.
That story's 300 years old. Probably older than that because Shakespeare recycled older plots and premises. You don't think that story's been cast 1,000 different ways over the last 3 centuries? All female cast, all male cast?
I don't know.
Were there actresses in the version you saw as a child?
Of course.
There you go. In Shakespeare's time, the female roles were played by boys in drag. How do you feel about them deviating from Shakespeare's original version and casting women in those roles in modern times?
I probably would have liked it better with all men.
Ugh.
Then you've got performers like Fatty Arbuckle or Errol Flynn getting canceled just because they got up to some hijinks now and then.
What are you firing at me for? We stopped the gunfight to hear you out.
I didn't restart the shooting, you did.
It was a car backfiring.
Oh.
Look, back to what you were saying. Color movies, talking pictures, people want this. You're not going to stop progress. Doesn't matter how much you protest or how many film industry people you shoot, they'll still make movies like this, like The Wizard of Oz.
It's not just the color in The Wizard of Oz that's a bastardization of the original. It's the politics. All about sticking up for little people. The Scarecrow represents American farmers. The Tin Woodsman represents the steel industry. The Cowardly Lion is a metaphor for the Spanish-American War.
Are you serious?
The winged monkeys are an allegory for the danger of Native Americans as Americans move westward.
That's ridiculous.
Plus, you might not be aware, it's all about the gold standard.
I know. Everybody knows that. You're one of those gold bugs?
Yeah, I was going to use Goldbug as my hero name, but there's like 5 other guys and a woman already call themselves that.
I thought the movie was promoting the gold standard.
Well, following the yellow brick gold standard road only leads them to the Emerald City, the color of greenbacks.
Oh, Lord.
In the novel, Dorothy wears silver slippers instead of ruby slippers. See, the demonetization of silver in 1873...
But she got the slippers off the dead witch, right? Wouldn't silver be bad if the witch liked it?
I don't know. Stop.
What is it?
There's a postal worker making his rounds on this street. We don't want him to get caught in the crossfire.
Neither rain nor snow nor hail of bullets stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds, I guess.
Morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Looks like we're getting a little sun today.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Oh no, I'm out of ammo.
Ha ha!
I swear this has never happened to me before.
What are you going to use to stop me now?
This gun in my hand.
That doesn't make sense. You already had a gun in your hand. You say that phrase and your gun's suddenly reloaded?
Yeah, I wasn't sure it would work, but I thought it was worth a try.
And another thing, even if you agree with his politics, this Harburg guy is a terrible lyricist.
What? Say now.
In almost every song, he makes up a word or mispronounces a word after he gets stuck trying to make it rhyme. The lion sings something like, I could show my prowess, be a lion, not a mouse, if I only had the knife.
Say, the movie is premiering in Parabellum City today. How do you already know the songs in it when none of us have seen it?
I snuck into a test screening in Culver City. I'm a big fan.
You got a funny way of showing it.
He needs a rhyme for rhinoceros, so he uses imposterous.
He does it as a joke, obviously.
How's that funny?
It's irony. He's subverting the audience's expectation that a song has to rhyme.
Blah, blah, what a bunch of mumbo-jumbo. He's sloppy.
Tell him, Yip.
What? Oh, yeah, it's intentional.
Some of his songs are complete nonsense, like that other kids' movie where the fairy godmother sings, Monongahela asafatida hippity hoppity hoo.
I didn't write that.
Well, it sounds like something you'd come up with.
This episode is brought to you by Abrupt Endings.
Ah, you shot the gun out of my hand.
I'm taking you downtown for the cops to deal with.
The show's already started. I better get in there. Thanks, mister.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
The Assassination of Yip Harburg by the Coward Fan Mail, episode 115 of This Gun in My Hand, was written, edited, and sung on the tongue by Rob Northrop. This episode and all others are available on YouTube with automatically generated closed captions of dialogue. Visit thisguninmyhand.blogspot.com for credits, show notes, archives, and to buy my books, such as Little Heist in the Big Woods and Other Revisionist Atrocities. What physical object represents my heart and brain and courage and love of home? This gun in my hand.